Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we're talking about the spell Infernal Calling. We're giving this spell a B. It's another one of our, we're going to summon stuff from the Abyss or the Nine Hells or whatever. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I've got another video coming out. All right, so Infernal Calling is a 5th level spell. It's in our 5th level spells we've been doing for a while. We are giving it a B. It is only usable by warlocks and wizards. There are ways for at least one other class to get this. We're going to talk about that a little bit. So casting time is 1 minute, so you probably won't be casting this in combat. It has a range of 90 feet. It has a verbal, somatic, and material component, which is a ruby worth at least 999 gold pieces. That is not consumed with the casting of the spell. It lasts for an hour. It requires concentration. Yes, you absolutely want to concentrate on this spell. So, uttering a dark incantation, you summon a devil from the Nine Hells. You choose the devil's type, which must be of a challenge rating of 6 or lower. And they give 2 examples, the Barbed Devil and the Bearded Devil. The Bearded Devil is a 3, and the Barbed Devil, I believe, is a 5. We're going to look at those. It appears in an unoccupied space that you can see within range, and then it disappears if it drops to 0. The devil is unfriendly toward you and your companions. Roll initiative for the devil, which has its own turns. It is under the Dungeon Master's control and acts according to its nature on each of its turns, which probably it's not going to be very happy that you summoned it. So, which might result in it attacking you, just like I said. Or trying to tempt you to undertake an evil act in exchange for limited services. I would say if a group of 9th or higher level characters summoned a Barbed Devil, let's say, and it appeared and it saw this group all standing around, it's probably going to not want to attack it. The DM has a creature's statistics, so on each of your turns, and I don't know why they have this sentence in here, because if you fail, then you're pretty much done. On each of your turns, you can try to issue a verbal command. It obeys the command if the likely outcome is in accordance with its desires, especially if the result would draw you towards evil. So, if you're not really good at charisma, which is the next sentence, then you can have a little role-playing scenario with the DM, and possibly you could do this without having to make some checks. But otherwise, you must make a charisma, deception, intimidation, persuasion check contested by its wisdom insight. You make the check with advantage if you say the devil's true name. So if you've researched this and you got its true name, you get advantage. Otherwise, you probably should have a character that has a pretty good charisma and or deception, intimidation, persuasion. If your check fails, the devil becomes immune to your verbal commands for the duration of the spell, though it can still carry out your commands if it chooses. So that contradicts kind of that first sentence, that on each of your turns you can issue a verbal command. But if you fail, then it's immune to your verbal commands, and it does what it wants, basically, at that point. If your check succeeds, the devil carries out your command, such as attack my enemies, explore the room ahead, or bear this message to the queen, until it completes the activity. So I guess that skill check is part of the spell that more or less compels it to do something. So you should be very, very, very careful what you ask it to do. Because it is a devil, it is going to kind of work as a contract, and it's going to look for loopholes in that. So you need to discuss this spell and discuss it with your party members and discuss exactly what you're going to say before you cast the spell. So it's going to complete the activity, at which point it will return to you to report having done so. If your concentration ends before the spell reaches its full duration, the devil doesn't disappear if it has become immune to your verbal commands. Instead, so if your concentration ends and it's not immune, I guess it disappears. But if it is immune, then it acts in whatever manner it chooses for 3d6 minutes, then it disappears. So if you possess an individual devil's talisman, you can summon that devil if it is the appropriate challenge rating +1, so 7 for the base spell. And it obeys all your commands with no charisma checks required. So in essence, you could give this thing a charisma check and a really well worded task, and it's going to do something for an hour, essentially. So you can upcast this, and every time you upcast it, the challenge rating goes up by 1. So it goes at 6th level, it goes to 7, and so forth. So let's look at devils. Let's look at the ones they suggested. So Barb Devil, it can hurl a flame. It's got magic resistance. It's got Devil's Sight. It's got the Barbed Hide. It does have an insight of a +5. So just keep that in mind, that if you're a wizard with a really bad charisma, and you're not trained in any of these 3 skills, then it could not go well for you. The Bearded Devil doesn't have it. It's got a +0 on wisdom checks. It's got a glaive. It can attack. It doesn't really have anything special. Now, you can summon other devils. So I know they have these legacy white Abishai and black Abishai devils. They don't necessarily, and this one has stealth. This one has an attack. I mean, for the most part, they took a lot of the like magical things the devils could do away. The Chain Devil, which you would have to cast this spell at 7th level to get, has, chains and things, and it can attack. A Bone Devil, which would be 8th level, has a sting and it can attack. They don't really have a lot of things they can do. And then you can't really do anything past that. So there's this Orthon Devil, which is a legacy devil, and it actually does have some things it can do. It's got this infernal crossbow. But for the most part, that's what you're stuck with. So it's going to be attack. It has the ability to attack. It doesn't have the ability to use a lot of spells and things like that. So how do you get this part right here? So a warlock comes with that. I mean, a warlock is a charisma-based class, so you could actually have a good deception, intimidation, or persuasion, and have a fairly good chance of being successful with that skill attempt. Bards, however, get magical secrets, and they could take this spell if they so choose. Personally, I wouldn't do that. There are other spells I would take as a bard for 5th level spells, but you could choose to take this spell, and you could do this. Remember, you got this ruby, and you can use that ruby over and over and over again. So, all right, that's what I got for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.